Welcome back. I hope you're doing well and enjoying the holiday season. We are going to do a practice to open up the back line of the body, release the fascia on the back line, and prepare for forward folds, forward bending. It's going to support you and really becoming a little bit more inward, more restorative, perfect for the solstice winter season. We are going to use a strap and a couple of blocks. Extra credit if you have a sandbag or anything a little heavy that you could use to put weight on the body. You don't need it, but it's a nice to have. So we're going to start on our back. And before we go on our back, you're going to set up your strap. So you're going to make your strap into a big loop, and it's going to be about as long as your leg. So just measure from like the top of your thigh to your foot. Get your loop situated. You can pause the video if you need, and then lay on your back. When you get on your back, you're going to take a block behind your head, cactus your arms, feet wide, knees are kissing. If you feel ready to close your eyes, you can do that, and you're just going to tune in to your breath. So you're kind of rolling your shoulder blades down, palms up. So you're getting a little shoulder flexion, a little opening in the front of the chest and in the front of the shoulders. Start to let your breath slow down and deepen at the same time. Watching the ribs and belly expand on your inhale, and watching it soften and pull in on your exhale. You'll feel that your chin is tucked towards your chest. This is facilitating a little bit of closure in the front of the throat and rounding in the neck, and that starts to set the tone of restoration and relaxation. This is a Bandha throat lock. So you might notice a little restriction in your throat. Notice the breath moving through the back of the throat. And just notice that your head is supported. We're going to continue with that as we release your block to the side and grab your strap. You're going to put your strap around your right foot, and then the other side of the strap is going to go behind your head, and it's going to be like a little pillow. So the strap needs to be tight enough that your head is off the ground. So check that it's tight enough, and then if it feels like it's just too much, if your hamstring feels overly pulled, then you can loosen the strap. See, what you want to feel is that as your foot is pushing forward, it's giving a little lift to the head. And then we're going to straighten the left leg as well. Your arms can just rest by your side. If it feels good to close your eyes, you can do that. You're going to rock your foot a little left and right. Just letting, again, this back line of the body start to release. So from the back of the hamstring, the back of the knee, the back of the hip, the low back, all the way up the torso, up the neck. So everything's connected. So as we start to unravel the back line, certain areas might become a little bit more freed up in our forward folds. So you could have your right knee completely straight, or you could put a soft bend in it, up to you. And again, you're just rocking your foot a little left and right. Your head's going along with it. Come to center and just bend and straighten your knee 2 times. And then let's switch sides. So put your left foot in your strap, right leg on the ground. And the strap is just above your ears, so it's like a little pillow. Start to tick-tock your foot, a little left and a little right. You're welcome to move nice and slow at your own rhythm. It's more of an exploratory part of practice. Moving slow for the season. And your knee can be, again, a little soft. Your head is following. You can go as far left and right as it feels good. Next time you find your way to center, just bend and straighten your knee a little bit. Your head will pop up when you bend. Okie dokie, you're going to put your right foot in the loop. So both feet. This time just give a little tiny push to your feet, maybe even more than before. And then bend your knees. Chin goes to the chest and then extend. One more time, bend your knees. And extend. Lovely. Take your strap off, release your head, and just give yourself a squeeze. So draw your knees into your chest. You can rock a little left and right. And then reach your arms inside your knees. See if you can catch hold of your feet. You can hold the pinky toe side. So a Baddha Konasana on your back. Lift your feet up and put them back down. Just lift and lower. Do it one more time. Up and down. Awesome. Grab your big toes with your peace fingers. See if you can straighten your left leg any amount to the left. And then take it back, and then take your right leg out to its own side. And then take it back, and then breathe in. When you exhale, take your head towards your toes and your toes towards your head. Inhale, lower. Let's do one more. Exhale, head to your toes, toes to your head. And release that. Put your feet on the earth. Lift your hips to a bridge. So just track your ankles under your knees. Your thighs are as wide as your hip bones. Roll your shoulder blades underneath you. You're using the glutes to lift your pelvis. Push your heels down. And then push your hands down and lift your chin. And release. Stretch your arms over your head. Roll over to one side. Make your way to your hands and your knees. And for practice today, we're going to use our blocks. So put one in the front, one in the back, on your hands and knees. Find a tabletop. And we're going to turn the right hand to the right. Turn the left hand to the left. So your thumbs face out. Circle around your wrist to the right. Just getting a little opening in the wrist. We're often typing and holding our phones. So this is kind of the opposite. Hopefully you're going to be off your phones a little bit during the holidays. I hope that I am. Go ahead and switch the direction that you're circling if you haven't already. Nice. And then you're going to take your toes together and make your wrist into fist. You're going to put where your watch would go on your mat. And you're going to bend and extend your elbows, keeping a really tight fist. This is going to release the back line fascia on the backs of the arms and the wrist. Nice. And then sit back and just shake your wrist out. Left and right, up and down. Okay, come to a plank pose, top of your push-up. Measure it out so the wrists are under the shoulders. Your hips are not too high and they're not too low, so they're just slightly below the shoulders in space. And you find that by really firming up your legs and pulling your belly up. Hips up and back, chest towards the thighs for your downward dog. So you're making a triangle shape with your body. Hips are being the peak of the pyramid. Inhale, take a plank pose. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, step in between your hands. Release your back knee. So we're just in this lunge shape. We're going to stay here for a minute and just rock the hips left and right. Line up your ankle underneath your kneecap. So you might have to scooch it forward a bit. And I want you to feel that your right armpit can touch your right knee. So find that fold in your right hip. Press into your left foot into the tops of the toenails and see if you could lift your knee up just for a moment and then release it. Then we're going to curl the back toes and we're just going to do an Anjaneyasana, just a lunge, unfolding the chest off of the hips. Grab opposite elbows, pull your elbows up, pull your chest up. And I want you to think that you're drawing your knees towards each other. So the right knee goes back and the left knee goes forward, and that will activate your hips. You should feel that you're really working a lot here. Take another breath in. And then as you exhale, you're just going to straighten your front leg. So move your hips back, lift your right toes up, and then we're just going to rotate the right toes to the right and take them to the left. So just rolling that thigh bone internally and externally. Rebend your knee. Let's take a twist. Left hand goes down, right hand goes up, and you could straighten your back leg if you like. Full breath in, stack your wrist. Exhale, reach that right arm over your ear, and then take your hand down and try to straighten your legs any amount. Rebend your knee and step to a downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, step to your left thumb. Release your right knee. Just make sure that your right knee is behind your butt, right? So not directly underneath it. So eventually you want to find a diagonal line from the front knee to the back knee. Line up your ankle underneath your knee. You might have to scooch it forward. Put your armpit on your knee and rock your hips left and right. Come to the middle. You're going to point your back toes and you're going to press into your toenails and see if you can lift your kneecap. Nice. And then release it. And then curl your back toes for more stability and come on up to Anjaneyasana, arms by the ears. Grab opposite elbows, but then put the other hand on top. pull the arms up, pull the chest up, look up a little bit, but don't just dip and drop your hips so much. So activate your thighs by drawing your left knee back, your right knee forward, belly in slightly, chin up, chest up. And exhale, release your hands. Move your hips backwards until your left leg extends straight. Lift your toes up towards your face. Take a long breath in. And use your exhale to fold over your leg. Nice. Rebend your knee. Right hand is down. Twist your left arm up. Keep pulling that knee in. And straighten your back leg. You can look up at your left hand. Turn your palm to face forward, stretch your arm over your ear, extend both of your legs any amount, lengthen your spine, and exhale, fold. And step to a downward facing dog. Inhale, you're going to go all the way to up dog, so skip chaturanga and don't flip your feet. Just take your chest through your arms so you're still on the balls of your feet. Exhale to downward facing dog. Hips are high. Walk your hands backwards to find your feet at the back of your space. And you're going to take a forward hang. And so you're just going to bend your knees so that you can find the fold in your hips. So when your knees are straight, you're in your hamstrings, which is a great place to be if you want to open your hamstrings. But for this moment, we're going to focus on the hip crease. So when your knees soften a little bit, the fold is in your hips now. So we're just releasing that lower back, really letting the torso drape over the thighs. The ground is really far away for you. You're going to bend your knees more. And then let your weight go to your toes and then to your heels, kind of forward and back a little bit. And then we're going to interlace the fingers to the webbing and take the interlaced fingers to the back of the hairline, just the back of the neck. So your arms are kind of like below your ears, and you're just giving a tiny bit of weight and traction to the head. Giving yourself a little adjustment here in your spine, just getting it tractioning a little bit longer. It should feel nice. And then release your hands down. We're going to do a little twist. So the left hand is in the middle. You're going to bend your left knee and twist your right arm up. You can turn your palm to face forward. And as you exhale, take a big stretch. Reach over your ear. Go to the other side. Take the left arm up. Exhale, big stretch. Good. Right arm up. Breathe in. Exhale, big stretch. Inhale the left arm up. Bend the right knee. Exhale, it's like a swim stroke over your ear. Let's do one more round. Inhale, right arm goes up. Exhale, swim stroke forward. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, reach forward and release. Bend your knees a lot. Round your back. You're going to come on up. Stretch the arms up. Look up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Just take a minute here. Feel your feet. Feel your tall spine. Feel the weight shifting subtly. Reconnect to your breath. Inhale, take your arms up. You're going to grab your left wrist and you're just going to reach to the right and then tick your hips over to the left. Inhale, you come back up to center, grab your right wrist. You're going to lean to the left, tick your hips to the right. Good. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold into your legs. Walk your hands to down dog. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, step through. Spin your left heel down. Grab a block, bring it outside your right foot, whatever height feels good. Pull your right hip back until it's straight, and then stretch your left arm up. So just doing a triangle pose from the ground up. Your back toes can be turned in a little bit. Turn, look up at your left hand, turn your palm forward and reach over your ear. Good. Bend your elbow, hold the back of your head and look up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bend your right knee. Take your block to the side. You're going to kick your right leg up to down dog split and walk your hands to your left foot for a standing split. Reach your right leg over to the right and then take your leg over to the left and tap it down to the mat, to the ground. And then inhale, take it back up. Walk your hands to your down dog split and step to your right thumb. This time you'll spin your left heel down, and I want you to find your foundation first. So your left toes face the upper left corner of your mat. Let's say like 10 o'clock on an imaginary clock. Your knee is in your armpit. And then you're going to come to warrior one. Make a V shape with your arms. Sit low in your hips. And then pull your pubic bone up. V your arms so it should feel really regal and powerful. Lift your gaze in your chest. Great. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Put your right finger on top. Straighten your leg and take a big breath in. Lift your heart. And as you exhale, take your head down inside your knee. Reach your arms forward. Release your head. Breathe in. Breathe out. Plant your hands. Step to downward dog. Inhale, wave it through to an upward dog. Exhale, wave it back to downward dog. Inhale your left leg up. Step through. Spin your right heel down. Grab a block, bring it outside your ankle. Pull your left hip back until your leg is straight. And then you'll stretch your right arm up. So your left hip is pulling in. And you can imagine there's a wall behind you. You can lean your head back into. Turn your palm forward, reach over your ear. Bend your elbow, hold the back of your head and look up. Deep breath in and out. Rebend your knee. Kick your left leg back up to your down dog split. You're going to crawl your fingers to your right leg. Hang over your right leg. Lift your left leg high. Stretch your left leg over to the left a little bit, and then go to the right a little bit, and then just like tap your foot way over to the right. And then kick it back up. Walk your hands forward, back to down dog split, and then step to your left thumb. Spin your right heel down. So find your foundation with your right toes facing like 2 o'clock on an imaginary clock. So steer your pelvis so that it's level here. Feel your left knee touching your left armpit. And then from here, from strong legs, find a warrior one. V the arms out. Heavy your tailbone, lift your pubic bone, lift your chest, maybe look up. And then interlace your fingers, straighten your leg. Left thumb on top. Do a little back bend on your breath in. And as you exhale, bend your knee, let your head go down. Keep finding the outer edge of that right foot. Your head gets heavier with every exhale. Your left hip's pulling back a little bit. Beautiful. Release your hands. Step to downward facing dog. Inhale, wave it through to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, Step through, spin your left heel down, find that block again, triangle pose. Bend your knee, take your block to the highest height, lift your left leg for half moon. Left toes face the left, the chest is rotating to the left, left arm up. So you're reaching your toes away from each other. Use your next exhale to step way back and then turn to face the back of the space to warrior two. So left toes face the back, right toes face forward. Stretch the arms out, spread your collarbones. Bring your left elbow onto your thigh. Reach your right arm over your ear. Take your right hand down without switching your legs. And you're going to bend your right knee and flex your left toes. We're going to go back and forth. So bend the knee, your hands are inside your foot at a diagonal. Bend your right knee, straighten your left leg. One more time. Bend the left knee, and then bend the right knee. Awesome. Walk your hands in a big circle all the way to the front of the mat. So you're in a lunge. Spin your left heel down. Turn it to face the upper left corner of the room. Legs are pretty straight. Pyramid pose. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold over your legs. Full breath in here. Full breath out. Bend your knee, step your left foot to meet your right foot. Lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold. Plant your hand, step your right foot back. Downward dog. Inhale, reach your left leg up. Exhale, step through. Spin your right heel down. Triangle pose. Straighten your left leg. Right arm up. Bend your knee. Take your block on the highest height. Half moon. So your right toes face the right. And you're trying to roll your toes away from each other. Roll your spine, your chest to face the right. Energize that top leg. Use your next exhale to step back. Turn to face the back of the mat. So right toes turn back. Warrior two. Spread your arms. Inhale, reverse it. And then put your forearm on your thigh. Take your left arm over your ear with your palm down. Big breath in. As you exhale, bring your hands inside your foot a little bit off to the left at a diagonal. You're going to bend your left knee and flex your right toes. Straighten your right leg. Go back and forth. Inhale, bend your knee. Exhale, lift the toes. Bend the left knee. Inhale, bend the right knee. Exhale, bend the left knee. Good. And then turn to face the front of the mat, walking real slow, hands on the ground. So you're in a lunge. Hop your back foot in until you can get the heel grounded. So your right toes face 2 o'clock on an imaginary clock. Again, find your hips level. Your feet can almost be in one line or they can be a little wider. And you're just going to fold over your left leg any amount. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale, you can take your head down. Inhale, look forward and step forward. Exhale, fold over your legs. Plant your hands, step your right foot back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, wave it through to upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Lower your knees. You're going to take your toes together and sit on your feet. From here, bring your fingers by your knees, and we're just going to open up the tops of the feet. So the knees lift and you just stretch the tops of your feet, stretching the tops of your shin, your toes, as much as you can. Lift your knees. Nice. And then we're going to go the other way. So curl your toes under, all 10 toes, and then lift your knees up. Good. Take your knees back down. Your toes are still curled, and we're just going to bounce. So do some bounces, opening up the bottoms of the feet. Beautiful. Lift your knees one more time. Put a block here. And then I want you just to tap your knees down so you're in this little toe balance. And then we're going to roll to the heels and come into a squat. Knees touch the armpits. And then we're going to take the knees forward again. We're going to go back and forth. So you balance the knees on the block, and then you go to a squat. Go forward, go back. It's okay if you lose your balance. Go forward. Let's do 2 more. And go back. 1 more. Knees to the block. And then heels to the earth. See if you can hold this little squat with your toes together in your knees and your armpits. You might feel this in your hip flexors, in your core, in your inner groin, inner thighs. Okay, and then try to straighten your legs any amount and fold. Awesome. Separate your feet so they're 2 fists apart, hip width. And this time we're going to slide the wrist under the feet. So your toes touch your wrist crease. You're going to bend your knees as much as you need so that you feel like your spine is unfolding. You can let your elbows bend a little bit. Your head's heavy like a bowling ball. Maybe take a breath in and let's flutter the lips. Yeah, release your jaw. Again, breathe in, and this time stick your tongue out and make some noise. Maybe shake your head out. Okay, and then I want you to see if you can lean to your left foot and lift your right foot, even for like a split second with your hand. And then go to the other side. And then we're going to walk forward on our mat. And this is just really great for the pelvic floor and strengthening those hips and legs. When you get to the front of the mat, release your hands. Take your feet a little wider. Turn your toes out just a touch. So you're finding 11 o'clock with the left foot, 1 o'clock with the right foot, and then you lower your bum and you're in your yogi squat. Lift your chest to your thumbs. Pull the chest up with the thumbs. Spread your collarbones. So feel that you're lifting your spine. Spread your toes. Make sure your heels are down. If they're not, you can just widen your feet a little touch. We're going to add a little twist. So take the left arm over to its own side. Reach your right arm up as you breathe in. Exhale, release. Take the right arm over to its own side and reach your left arm up. So nice. And then you're going to extend your legs and fold. And then just wash it out. Let your head sway left and right. Soften your knees. And then we're going to move into some more restorative shapes. So you're going to just step to your down dog. Awesome. Take your right foot, step it outside your right wrist. Put a block on the highest height underneath your thigh. So we're doing a lizard pose shape. From here, you could just hang out, maybe walk your hands over to the left. You could pop your elbows down for a few breaths. And then if you want to, we'll do a quad stretch. Now I'm going to keep the block here under my thigh, but you don't have to do that. If it feels like it's just too much, don't worry about it. But this block can also serve as some mini foam roller for your quads. So you can kind of go left and right. And then once you catch your back foot for your quad stretch, you can kick your foot into your hand for a breath, and then maybe pull your foot towards you for a breath. Nice. And then we're going to remove that block, press into your hands, and then take your knee where your foot was. So now you're in pigeon. And then we're going to take a restorative pigeon. So put a block under your sternum. Take your forehead to the ground. About 3 breaths here. So let yourself really drop in as much as you can. The block can be whatever height you want. And you don't have to force your shin to be in any kind of fashion. So I have my foot pretty close to my pelvis. So my shin is at a diagonal. And that's what I recommend for most people. Come upright with your torso, and if you feel good, maybe take a little back bend. You can kind of, same idea with the lunge. We're pulling the right knee back, pulling the left knee forward. Lift the pelvic floor, lift the arms, do a little back bend. And we're going to do a downward dog and go to the other side. So you'll step your left foot outside your left wrist. You can take any version of a lizard pose that's interesting for you. I like using the block under my quad. I like walking my hands out and then walking my hands to the right a little bit. So you're moving away from that left leg. If you want to take a quad stretch, swing the left arm around, grab your foot, kick your foot into your hand, and then pull your foot towards you. And then when you're ready, move your block to the side. Press into the ground and then look where your foot is. I want you to think that your knee is going over in that direction. So your knee is to the left of your torso, and you could slide your right leg back. If at any point your knee bothers you in pigeon, don't stay there. You're gonna come out, do something else. You really only want to feel a stretch in your hip. Your knee doesn't really stretch. So the knee is a hinging joint, and we don't want to have pain there. So if there's knee pain, there's a sign that the hip does not want to do that. So we want to adjust. So we're feeling a stretch in our hips. You can take your forward fold whenever you're ready. So a block under your sternum. Take 3 breaths. Let the chest and the forehead be resting on something ideally. And then you can come into an upright pigeon like last time. Suction your knees towards each other. Pull the belly, pull the pelvic floor up. Reach the arms up by the ears. Downward dog. Paddle out your feet. Walk your feet nice and slow. Cross your ankles. Bend your knees. Sit back behind your butt. Okay, we're going to do a couple forward folds, and then we're going to do a plow pose to finish the practice today. So in your forward fold, we're going to sit in Sukhasana. I have my left shin in front. I want you to think about lining up your ankles and your knees in the same place. So sometimes when we plop down in an easy pose, we take the knees kind of wide. For today, bring your knees more narrow. So it's a really formal seat. The knees and the ankles are in line. Wiggle your butt back just a little bit so your shins are making 2 parallel lines. And you want to feel your head is over your butt. If your head is way behind your butt and you feel like you're rounded, you could sit up on a blanket. From here, we're going to do a forward fold. So you're going to crawl your hands out in front of you. You could hang out here for a few breaths, making it active, or you could put a block under your forehead and you can rest.
Elbows are going to be in front of the shins on the ground. Forehead is resting on any prop. And you're just breathing deeply into your back body, releasing that back line. Smooth and slow and deep breaths in and out of your nose. Really moving the breath into the lower back, into the sides of the waist. If you have any more room to crawl forward, you can do that. And we're going to switch sides. So you're going to put your other shin in front. Line up your ankles with your knees. Crawl your hands forward. Try to draw the elbows down on the floor past your shins. Take your forehead on something and turn this into a restorative shape. Smooth breaths. You can walk your hands another inch forward. Make your way up. We're just going to unwind that a tiny bit. So you're going to bend your knees, feet on the ground, toes facing forward, hands behind you, fingers facing forward. Lift to a reverse tabletop, but make it like low effort. Puff up your chest a little bit, look up a little bit to the ceiling, and then release your bum. Okay, so we're going to finish with a rounded plow. And this can be a very, very deep forward fold, so it might not be everyone's cup of tea. So if it's not your cup of tea, you can do a seated forward fold. You could also take a happy baby on your back. I'm going to show you these options. I'm going to grab my sandbags to show you that you can add that if you wish. So if you have a sandbag, maybe you have no idea what a sandbag is, just a bag full of sand. And then we are going to use 2 blocks to facilitate the shape. I'm going to show you step by step how you can get into this shape. So again, if you're not wanting to do a rounded plow, you could basically do a rounded plow here with your knees bent, grabbing your feet. So this is like a Paschimottanasana forward fold with your knees bent. You can also do a forward fold with your knees straight. And then when you're ready to move on your back, you're just going to have your blocks within reach. Know where your sandbags are. Make sure they're not too far away. It's nice to have someone to assist you with this, but you don't have to, so I'll show you. We're going to take the toes overhead into plow, and you're going to support your low back with your hands. If you're not doing plow, you can take a happy baby, just pulling your knees towards your armpits. When you're ready to do a plow, you're going to lift your pelvis, take your toes overhead, and you're supporting your low back with your hands. You can kind of wrap your elbows together by interlacing your fingers, and then your hands are really available at the low back. To make it restorative, we're going to put a block at an angle at the back, and then another block is going to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. So as you can see, that's giving me a boundary, so my back now has a little wall. I like to grab my feet for a second and take my knees to my armpits, and I'm just letting my feet touch the ground. So I'm holding my feet with my hands. If you want to make it even more restorative, you can take that sandbag, and you can put it over your feet. So now the feet are completely supported and held, and your arms can just do whatever they want. I like to, every once in a while, just lift my chin a little bit so I'm tractioning my spine. And you might be able to sit in this for 5 breaths, or you might be able to sit in this for 50 breaths. So when I first started doing this pose, it was very, very challenging for me. So I just say that because it might be challenging for you, and that's okay. The fascia and the muscles will start to adjust, and the bones will then start to move, and you'll eventually be able to do this for a long time. So 1 or 2 sandbags, you could put 1 sandbag on each foot. Just giving you a little extra grounding. We'll take about 5 more breaths and I'll show you how to come out. You might wiggle your right hip down and then your left hip down. So your feet are pointed, the toenails are on the ground. And this is obviously a deep rounding, deep flexion of the spine, which can really support any gripping that you might have, any tension in the low back. When you're ready to come out, you can just take your sandbags off one at a time, move your blocks off to the side, and then very slowly you can let your back round and unfurl vertebra by vertebra. You could take a little happy baby for a second. And then it's nice just to put your feet on the earth, let your knees go together to touch, and bring your hands onto your belly and your chest, letting your spine unwind, come back to neutral. Tune into how you feel and how this practice has affected you, and let your breath continue to move with ease. Continue to breathe slow and deep through your nose, allowing the ribs and the torso to move with the breath. Release any gripping. Relax your face and your jaw and your eyes. And if you're cozy here, you can stay in your Shavasana for extra long. It is the winter season. Give yourself time. You can also stay for a longer meditation. When you're ready, maybe stretch your body long. Send your breath to your fingers, to your toes. You're going to roll to one side and slowly, with really lots of ease, move to a seat. Keep your head heavy, keep your eyes heavy. Once you find a seat, close your eyes. Bring your hands together at your heart space. Anjali Mudra. This is a signal of gratitude, of reverence. You can bow with me to close. Namaste. Thank you. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to hear from you. I'll see you next time. Bye.